veterans. You served your country honorably once while you wore the cloth of our nation. We are asking you to wear it again proudly as a member of the American Legion of Oklahoma. The American Legion is part of the nation's largest and most influential network of veterans, families, and communities, from budget hearings to baseball diamonds, from combat outposts to children's hospitals. Together, we make a difference. The American Legion provides life-changing assistance and guidance for veterans, military personnel, their families, and communities in thousands of ways each and every day around the world. Help comes in the form of personal assistance, cash grants, donated goods, disaster relief, labor, networking, volunteerism, and advocacy. The American Legion is for God and country, but the American Legion is also for you. Please contact a local post today.
That's Tokelahoma, Tracy.
And Larry Reed, the man on weed. And here we are on the August 5th edition of Tokelahoma, baby!
Yes.
And we were just out in the rain, huh?
Yeah.
It's raining here in beautiful downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And we are in a new set here. How about that, huh? Different.
Mm-hmm. With Zane over there.
Yeah, Zane back on the ones and twos. Made it all happen last week while you were out on sabbatical.
Hey, sometimes it happens.
Yes, it does.
But Saturday, I will be at the American Legion serving brunch or cooking brunch or just being at brunch. So come out. It's right down in War Acres. So come out. It's cheap. You get to see some, men who and women who just really appreciate their country and and give back to them because they work hard and it's free. And so everything they do is volunteer. So come out and see us.
Yeah, that's it. The American Legion in War Acres. You'll see sometimes we run the public service announcement for the American Legion there. Tracy is the adjudicant of the post, which is like super awesome. I'm not really sure what all that is, but it's super awesome. She makes everything go round and round, and so they're having that brunch. It's free to the people that come, or how does
I don't know the exact prices, but
whatever the prices is,
like $10 or less, and like 5 or 6 for kids or something.
There you go, and it's a full brunch. You get to meet the guys, right?
Food, bacon, sausage, eggs, all that good stuff.
There you go, and you get to meet some wonderful people that.
Yes, like Brett Martin, the Vice Commander West.
There you go. They sacrificed part of their lives so you could have part of yours. So definitely come out and support them out there. And we talk a little bit about cannabis, right? That's one of the things that's kind of going in the. How does the American Legion look at cannabis?
Most of them don't use it because they're still old school, or but they're not against it because they see the younger guys. Like we're all out there, with our vapes or whatever, just talking about it. So it's definitely a big generation gap.
Yeah.
But we have so much in common, and so it makes it easy for us to network and connect and just give back.
That's a real interesting point that you bring up, because they really served in kind of two different wars out there, that some of the old school guys that were in a fully supported type war and things like that. Maybe they're not that, if you have WW vets in there, I'd imagine you still have one. Okay. 95. So, and then as the conflicts got weirder and crazier and things like that, whatever it is. But one of the things that we promote in all that is to help them get out of the house, to participate, to be around other like-minded individuals, because there's that real problem of veteran suicide.
Yes, and that happens daily.
Right, 22 a day.
And PTSD awareness. Next week we're going to have Kyle Earlian and talk about that and see what he's got going on with Garage Coffee. And, he's an advocate for that. And he does it all the time. And it's hard on him mentally, I think, and physically. But he still does it. Yeah. And, that's how these people are, And, they just keep continuing. They need to keep continuing to do it. But we don't want to just be at war with the world, right? We want to bring it home in America and like give back to our states and our communities. And it's like we don't have any hidden agendas, in which we find a lot of people do.
Right.
And so that's why we kind of stick together. And so that's why we bring people in with us. And so if we bring you in with our family, you're one of the good guys. So Larry, you're a good guy.
There you go. So Saturday, definitely. What time do we start at the brunch?
I will be there probably about 6 a.m.
Well, not
but
you.
It starts at 7.
Oh, it started at 7? That early? Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, till noon.
There you go. So everybody up and
Yes.
out. You're going to have to get used to it because college football is going to start soon. You're going to be up anyway. So the everybody meet in War Acres. What's the address that we have? Do we have an address there? Or?
We will put it up there.
Okay, we'll put it up there, down there, one of these places there. But definitely come on out. It's going to be a great time to not only get something to eat, but
But yeah, we'll talk with maybe Joe Lewis. And he's running for District 88.
He's our man.
He is. He's a good guy and Marine, and just wants to continue serving his state and has an uphill battle. So come out and maybe see him and support him. And we also have the ruck coming up. So we're going to take a break and we're going to talk more about the ruck.
There you go. There you go. We're going to have a rucking good time when you come right back here on Tokelahoma. Peace.
Oklahoma veterans, you served your country honorably once while you wore the cloth of our nation. We are asking you to wear it again proudly as a member of the American Legion of Oklahoma. The American Legion is part of the nation's largest and most influential network of veterans, families, and communities, from budget hearings to baseball diamonds, from combat outposts to children's hospitals. Together, we make a difference. The American Legion provides life-changing assistance and guidance for veterans, military personnel, their families, and communities in thousands of ways each and every day around the world. Help comes in the form of personal assistance, cash grants, donated goods, disaster relief, labor, networking, volunteerism, and advocacy. The American Legion is for God and country, but the American Legion is also for you. Please contact a local post today.
So, hey Tokelahoma, we're back, and we're going to talk about the ruck. It's 12 September, and it's in Mesta Park, and American Legion is sponsoring it that. And so we want you to come out and just come join, even if you just want to come for lunch at noon, and just eat with us. Come out for that too. So we're going to be out in the community.
And it's an amazing event. If you're not familiar with what a ruck is, it's a military term where you throw a bunch of stuff in your backpack and you go out and ruck around, right? I'd love to.
Physical, mental workout, and we're going to do it for 8 miles.
8 miles. So all you weeders out there that are watching this, that think you got what it takes to make that happen, man, load your backpack up. Now the legal limit is only 3 ounces, so you're going to have to find something else to put in your backpack besides weed. But maybe get up to maybe 10, 15. I think Joe was saying like 55 pounds or something like that. Like grab your small children and whatever you got, but stuff them in the backpack, and then head on out to which park?
Mesta Park in Oklahoma City.
There you go. You got an address on that? We'll put that right there too,
yes,
right?
We will. We'll pull up all the addresses.
And so that's again to create community, right? And one of the things that I was on this week, I went to that Turp float, right?
Yes, I saw that.
And it was pretty good. Shout out to Burnin' Turp's production that made that all happen out there. But one of the great things that I saw out there was the Lifted Valley Farms crew. Mm-hmm. And they're veteran owned,
Yes.
they're veteran operated, they're veteran focused, and they had some amazing things going on out there at the Terp float. Like every time you bought a t-shirt, the money for the t-shirt, the whole $20, right? They found somebody to give them some t-shirts and all that. So they say, look, the whole $20 or whatever it was goes right to the organization where they take the vets for free golf.
Awesome.
The first, man, I don't know if I remember this. I want to say the first and the third Wednesday of each month, they get to go and take vets golfing, which is amazing. And it's along the same lines of
Bonding.
It's bonding,
Brotherhood.
it's getting them out of the house. That's the real thing that I keep hearing as a theme. There's a group out in Seattle I've worked with. The name slips me. There's a crew in Las Vegas. They get together and they pedal the reticulated bikes, the ones you lay down in. They're Air Force people,
Okay.
and they had some ailments. They were injured while serving,
Okay.
and he can't ride a bicycle sitting up. So he lays down in one of those, and they have rides all over Vegas. I'm going to get you in touch with them because it's going to be a giant love party when all
I love
that
all
happens.
veterans.
Yes, absolutely.
I
And
welcome all veterans.
well, that's it. The you've got it going to where you're aligning with other people in there. Like we're going to get Lifted Valley going for it. Kyle Early,
Yeah.
right? He does a lot with that stuff. And
Colton with Anxiety Hackers. I really like him. I think he's going somewhere.
then he's an Oklahoma guy.
Mm-hmm. Veteran cannabis industry. Anxiety Hackers is the brand.
Well, we really have the bevy of military here, being such a military.
It is 1 in 4 is a military or military veteran, like family. So that's how
That's
big the
interesting.
community is, and you know, community is also the governor, right?
Yeah, that's and we've got one of our closely beloved old school, right?
Yes.
He's a vet, and shout out to him and all he does out there and all his generosity and commitment
His ass off.
to the cause, right? And so really a fascinating person. If you ever get a chance to talk to old school about what old school used to do before he got to the weed world, man, that guy's just a interesting guy all along. And so it's these kind of events, that community events that are all taking place that really bring it together, just like we talked about in the first segment, is that brunch. What other kind of things do you have going in there?
We got the governor campaign.
The governor campaign.
You know,
How does she feel about vets? What's
her
the
dad's a veteran, and
Okay.
I think her brother is maybe active duty or out now, but a veteran. So like she grew up with it. She was born in Lawton, which is a military town.
Yeah.
And she's very supportive of me and my family. And as far as I know, she's like a real person and like really listens to what we have to say, not listens to who lines her pockets. You know,
Right.
She's listening to us, and she has, and that's where she's building her team. So
You know Bruno. That's it. That's the
you know Bruno.
that's the you never know about anybody else, but you know Bruno, because the thing about libertarians is we're principle based and we're not personality based.
Right.
And really what takes place is that there needs to be somebody that carries the torch. They don't you can't just ask a libertarian one. It's that mind of thought. There has to be a figurehead for it all. And it's fantastic. She's an awesome person. Mom, which is the hardest job in the entire world.
Yeah.
Executive.
Wife, goes to church. She's just a good woman, and
She believes in
she was
cannabis
just in a
as
protest.
medicine.
Yeah, we had a protest in the cannabis industry, but yeah, she does believe in medicine. Her husband actually has a card and uses.
There you go.
So, and she's interested because she wants to learn more about CBD and like the trials, and people undervalue CBD. I think.
I think so too.
which I feel like I use it for pain relief.
Right.
So
I think the you're absolutely right with that, and that was one of the, I think, inspirations behind Kyle Early's thing too, is especially if you're in the workforce in critical jobs, which is a lot of what the vets do when they get out. They've been trained in some really technical kind of heavy equipments and things like that of that nature, and so you got to have your head on, but the aches and the pains of your body are still there, and that CBD takes over that CB2 receptor in there, and really is that body, the Delta 8 is really taken on like that. It's almost like weed light, it does it to your body but not your head, and so it's a great time to be alive in the world of cannabis, especially in Tokelahoma, baby. And it's great that we do this show here, because the awareness that we're creating for not only the libertarian side but the vets, and because there's got to be some of it. So the Orca petition's still out there, right? We had that going on, and so we're bringing some light to a lot of these topics that, if you're watching this, share it off to your page or something, or comment down below saying, hey, what about this? What about that? Bring up this topic, bring up that topic. We'd like to hear a little bit more about that stuff, because we're going to have more guests, right, that come through and things like that. It's a little bit rough in the summertime with everything going, a lot of vacations and in-betweens going. So we're going to keep doing that and bringing awareness to the underdogs out there. That's the way I see us,
Yes, no, for real, yep. Just the regular small business, mom and pop type people, and that's what we care about. And
we're the salt of the earth. That's really the way I equate us, and us and the weeders and the people that serve and all that kind of world, is that we're the cogs that really make it go round and round. We're the ones that, you remember that Fight Club line, we're the ones that make your breakfast, they wash your clothes, they do this, that, the other. And so it's a great thing that we're doing to bring awareness in not only politics and policies, but just overall in the world of cannabis and how it's.
And I've had three sponsors for the Ruck, and I just want to give them a shout out. Fit Military Women, thank you, ladies. Native Veteran, thank you. And Thomas, thank you. And they're all just veterans, and they're supporting the cause, and they just want to support us, and I love it.
There you go. So don't forget to go follow those people. There's a clothing line with Fitness. Who's this guest on here? Hello. It's weird. I don't know. Right, we've got a clothing line. Give them a shout out again, because we can actually go to the clothing line, right?
It's fitmilitarywomen.com.
Fitmilitarywomen.com.
Shop is a blog, and we're just going to keep building, and we're trying to do an interview this weekend. So if you're a female veteran and you want to do an interview, let me know, because we're going to be doing that from Instagram, because I'm all about that. Like, that's really my passion. People ask, like, what? Like, I do all this stuff, but females are like my, like my sisters, my community, and so undervalued in a lot of ways. And so I just want to be a part of that, and what, we're sexy and we're smart, and we'll also beat you up if we need to.
There you go. So we'll be right back to beat you up some more right here on Tokelahoma, baby.
Empire Genetics is an advanced research program set forth under the 2018 Oklahoma Industrial Hemp Pilot Program, overseen by Northwestern Oklahoma State University. A lot of farmers reach out to us. They've heard about what we're doing and are interested and want to know what they've had growing on their land since they were kids. Oklahoma is very diverse in its weather system, and so these plants have adapted over the last several hundred years to withstand that. A lot of it was brought here by the U.S. Department of the Interior back as part of Hemp for Victory. Hemp for Victory was brought about with the loom of the coming World War. We knew that we were going to have to produce a very large amount of hemp to rig the ships for their sailing, for their ropes, for their anchors, also clothing, sailors' hats, our flags, everything was made from hemp. Marijuana wasn't made illegal until 1969. The USCSA classed marijuana in with other dangerous narcotics such as heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamines. The campaign to slander cannabis began back in the 20s, mainly with William Randolph Hearst and the paper mills. Then that transgressed into big oil. Later in the 30s and 40s, really gained steam. By late 1937, the Congress passed the Marijuana Tax Act, which grouped industrial hemp in with marijuana. After that, they gave the differentiated names, hemp, marijuana. While farmers were still allowed to grow, taxes were raised so heavily that it made it difficult, especially for lower income farmers. In 1940, when Hemp for Victory came to Oklahoma, they actually used Oklahoma as a test plot. Several genetics were shipped in from all around the world to see what would grow best on American soil, since Oklahoma has such a diverse climate. And it's very hard to find a lot of documentation on that. We know there was a lot of places, obviously, that were involved, or we wouldn't be finding cannabis in every county in Oklahoma. Hempire Genetics, sowing the seeds of the past to grow a better future for everyone. Visit us at hempiregenetics.com or on our social media pages at Hempire Genetics.
I need to know what's the ETA. I had to hustle, I don't know no easy way.
Hey, it's Tokelahoma. So yeah, fitmilitarywomen.com. Go check us out. Read our blog. We're going to continue to do blogs and interviews, and just take care of each other and empower each other. So.
And I'm a big fan of women, and I support them every way I can. My mom's a woman, my wife's a woman, my daughters are women, even my dog's a woman. I think female, and that's one of the things that is really reverberates with me all the time, is that if you see something, say something. Mm-hmm. That's a shout out to Jeremy Purple Tangi, who posted one the other day about he saw a guy that had a spot of, I guess he identified it as cancer. Like he said, the guy had a open sore on his nose, and it was weeping, and just like, wow. So he gave him some RSO, which he probably didn't. He probably got him his medical card and then went to a licensed dispensary and got it properly, and then put it on his nose, just for the record, And then the guy came back a week later, and it's like it's healing in his face. Mm-hmm. And so there was somebody that saw something and said something, and that's the same way with you and the Fit Military Women group. Is you want to make a difference out there
in our community,
and so
everyday people
making the difference. Yeah. That's really I say weeders helping weeders a lot. Mm-hmm. And the office is dusty. I keep getting dusty nose. Mm-hmm. But the weeders helping weeders out there, and there was a post today from our friend JKJ, John Kumbis, out there about him trying to get going in a grow or something, and then now they're starting to clamp down on regulations on paperwork and when you can do certain things and this, that, the other. And
Bruno, I'm telling you, Bruno.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
The answer.
That's it. One thing about that petition that really kind of gets my goat is that they're going to try to create more bureaucracy mm-hmm. with their own standalone OMMA, and
in a private building,
with private air conditioning,
yeah,
and private benefits.
Yep, I told them to go back to work because they were just sitting there watching us. I'm like, go back to work. That's what we're paying you for. And they did, most of them. Right, and so because in the petition they want to have their own under their own rather than the health department. And though I'm not 100% knowledgeable about all the pros and cons for all of that, I believe that there's got to be a way to incorporate in what already exists rather than establishing even more bureaucracy, which is kind of, I believe, the snake feeding on itself kind of. Yeah, I know. Because that's how politics work, and cannabis is not politics.
It really is getting to be that part, but there's still a ton of love out there mm-hmm. that is that is taking place out there, and the innovation.
Yeah.
We're all
out there together, happy, working together, just living life. And like, no matter what, like, we support each other. I'm going to support anyone that's willing to support me, and I'm just going to keep continuing to show up for them. Not everywhere, we can't be everywhere, but you're somewhere, I'm somewhere, our team just keeps going.
Yep. And it's reaching out and helping those people and listening to their stories and sharing them and doing things like that. That was really, I went to the, shout out to the Escalated Greens crew down in Eufaula, who I did that show the day before. Mm-hmm. And that story down there is incredible. The owner's son was a dynamite kid, everything going for him, was an incredible athlete, came down with some sort of cancer. Weed came in, did its job, right? It should be normal out there. We shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, weed saved somebody's life. It's like, yeah, okay, things go wrong, and so we took some weed and it got better. We don't walk around going, that chlorocedrin took care of my allergies. Like the.
How old was he?
Yeah.
Or is he?
Or he's a young child still, and he's still growing up and all that. So what Ryan did was he went and got out of whatever business he was in and started this started a dispensary, started a processor. I think he's got like 50 people from the city of Eufaula that work for him. He had an event that he invited his competition that was in Eufaula. Like, he's not the only, the people from Pharmacated, they go for the same customer. Come on out, come on out. It's a community event. If we can reach one more person, because it's a community event, that somebody that knew Pharmacated that came out to see Josh, and since it's a daily show, my friend Hampton, perform, got to meet the people at Escalated, and then it was like we all took our labels off, mm-hmm. and the humanity was there. That's what took place that day. Heat index was 116, and we were all pretty much melted. Yeah. Barbecue was great. Just, they took care of everybody. It was a free event. It was just really
community, cannabis community, canna fam. Yeah, he's a great guy.
It really just a fantastic time, and be a part of that. Come on out to the brunch. It's this Saturday. Right? This Saturday, 7 to noon over there in War Acres. We'll make sure we get the address there, or you can hit the price, $10.
Just bring $10.
Just bring $10. I'll have a couple extra $10 if somebody needs extra $10. Like stuff like that. Like, let's come on out. We can go outside, maybe smoke a little, and have a little wake and bake, and there you go. It sounds like meat and potatoes to me, folks. So definitely come out there and be part of it.
The community.
You're already part of it. You voted. You got 788 pads, and I'm so grateful that you did. That is my payback to keep going and adding to it, right? We just keep doing that and creating and helping each other get to the next level. And that's really what weed's all about. Yeah, you're gonna make a couple bucks here and there. I don't really know anybody really making a whole lot of money in the weed world, but it's a beautiful thing. I believe that as a libertarian, everybody should definitely go read that Orca, right? Do yourself a favor.
Please.
Do us a favor. Please. We beg you.
Guys.
Yes.
Chris.
You could be the most intelligent person, and we just don't know it. Like, you have a view. Like, everybody's view to the world is different. Right? We all have our window. Mm-hmm. So put your window on that Orca, and maybe you see something that nobody else does. Maybe you don't understand something, and maybe that's not going to have you vote on it. Ask that question. Yeah. Get it right in your head. The people that created it, they're not perfect. They don't, and they're open and willing to say, hey, show us. Let's talk about it. Let's make things happen. So, on behalf of my extra special host, Tracy Diane, who come on out, brunch, Saturday, 7 to noon, make that happen. Bruno, What else you got going on? Fit Military Women?
Yeah,
.com.
and on Instagram.
On Instagram. Looking for more fit military women.
Yes.
And
people who support us.
And people that support you, and perhaps life has gotten you down a little bit and you've kind of got in the undertow and you're a military woman and perhaps you don't identify as being fit, that I know that this angel right here will help you. And there's got to be 1,000 other women because y'all are just
we had
empowering
protein
each
ice
other.
cream on there the other day.
Protein ice cream.
Yes. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I take a special kind of carnivore diet. I eat steak and chocolate.
That's all right.
That's all right.
I love steak.
It's working for me a little bit. So, and that's about all we have today, right?
Yeah.
We'll be back again next week for another awesome Tokelahoma, baby! So, on behalf of my awesome host, Tracy Diane, I'm Larry Reed, the man on weed. Thanks to my mom and dad who made it all possible. Good night, love you. Peace and chicken grease. Don't forget to smoke weed every day, and we're out of here.